himself at the beach. I hope the weather's better there than it is here because it's cold and dreary here.
Down there in that water.
But
Go water.
on the guest host, Mike, we've got none other than last time he was here. We weren't here, right?
No.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
that's
but
correct.
you've met him.
Yeah, I
before.
met
Mark
Jeff-
had not.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we were
Oh,
introduced.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got Justice. Get the puck out of here, Wallace.
I thought we came up with he's the engineer.
Right.
How can he be the engineer if he's the engineer?
Because he's the commander.
I'm the
'Cause he's the
commander.
commander.
Okay, that's fair.
I,
Justice, get the puck out of here, engineer. Wallace.
I made it official a long time ago. I even told my mom. So
Oh, yeah, so that's
Yep.
that.
certified.
Mom's
Well,
knows. That's it.
Well, Justice, thank you for braving the dangerous, treacherous route that is 77.
The elements.
So-
Anytime I get an opportunity to come up here, I'm gonna take it. So
Well, hey, listen, it's fun. It can be, but on a rainy day in Charlotte, driving up 77 in the rain, I mean, it's just everyone's common sense goes out the window.
well, because you don't know me like that, this is my type of weather. So
Oh,
the idiots on the road mean nothing.
where are you from originally?
Born and raised in Charlotte my whole life.
Oh,
It's only 12 of us. So
I was just saying there ain't many of you. There ain't many of you.
It's only 12 of us.
Justice, you need to be in like a museum or something.
Hey, listen, my parents, my people still there. Big shout out to my mom, my dad, my grandma, all my family.
All right.
So there's the three more. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's
We're down
12
to 9.
There's 12 of them. He's related to 9 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Uh,
before we start, I want to ask Mark about his hat. Like, no logo or anything. What's up with that?
I
Just
see a
plain
logo.
hat.
You say
This was
more.
early
You
hat.
say more with less, my friend.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Speak softly.
All right.
Carry big mic.
That's right.
You know, usually he's wearing it backwards, so we can't see the logo. Now he's got a hat with no logo, so he wears it the right way.
Mm,
Can't see anything.
Stormy weather, stormy attire.
Okay.
that's right.
Gotcha.
So before we break into our topics of the night, which looks like it's going to be the NBA, we're going to talk some AHL, NHL playoffs, obviously again the checkers, some Major League Baseball, and a little bit of NFL to maybe wrap things up. We are going to start the show as we always do with birthdays and trivia.
You got it.
What you got,
All right,
Brian?
birthdays. Golfer Sam Snead. Okay. The Big Hurt.
Frank Thomas.
That's right.
My guy.
And
I love Frank.
Jeff Bagwell.
Another good
Oh.
first baseman.
Yeah.
Bags.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. I got 2 trivia questions.
Hit it.
So one of them will relate to one of our topics from last week. So last week we talked about the tush push being potentially banned, which the vote failed, so it does not get banned.
Good, good.
All right.
good.
Since 2022, the Philadelphia Eagles have used the tush push 122 times, the most by any team in the NFL. Which team has used it the second most times since 2022?
The Buffalo Bills.
How many times? You are correct.
It's in like the 80s.
I was going to say the USC Trojans.
It's in like the 80s and 90s. Because I'm a Eagles fan, and I keep anytime that tush push happens, I get stats.
Why we keep bringing Eagles fans on this show?
I'm,
man?
I'm,
It's like left and right.
I'm going to say
My
88.
fiance is an Eagles fan.
Okay, okay.
Obviously,
All right,
I'm
what
gonna
TJ
say
is.
88. Mark?
82.
It's in like the 80s or 90s. So I'm gonna go with 90.
Bryson?
No, that's a good number, 90.
Nope.
You can't say his number.
Nope.
Okay, 91.
Y'all
Okay.
are too high.
Is it 81?
74.
74,
Okay.
All right. And then I got one more.
Hold on,
Okay.
wait, real quick. I saw this morning. You said birthdays. I know this is a sports show, but I have to give a big shout out to his 50th birthday. Andre 3000, to me, the greatest
Ooh.
rapper of all time.
There we go.
Today is his birthday.
Here's a real
I'm sorry.
question, Brian. Do you
I'm
know
out.
who that is?
No, I don't.
All right. So first of all, we'll take over from here. Bryson, can you mute his mic? 'Cause he said Andre 3000 was the greatest rapper of all time. So we're just
Oh,
going
yeah.
we're
We'll
to cut it
just-
there.
That's all.
Thank you for joining us. You are officially
Come on.
done. For
You
the-
you are muted, my
You can
friend.
go home now.
No, listen. Okay.
We are on a country station. We're not expected to know about rap.
Whoa,
That's
whoa,
right.
whoa, whoa, First
Yeah,
of
yeah,
all,
yeah, yeah.
Andre
You ever-
3000.
You ever heard of George
Gr-
Jones?
I tell you
Merle Haggard.
I tell you the rapper who I like. I think is really
Tupac.
good. Will Smith.
Okay, we got it.
Brian,
We can't do that.
Brian.
We
Does
can't
he,
do that.
does
Yeah.
he even count as a
He
rapper?
actually just put out a rap album like 2 months ago.
But I mean, but I'm talking about when he first
In the
started.
90s, yeah.
So I mean,
What's that
okay,
song he's
I'm a
got?
'90s guy. Like, listen, you throw me some
Welcome
some
to
Nas and some
Miami.
stuff like that. I mean, there's so much good stuff.
Mhm.
But I was also a big Outkast fan.
Okay.
So
Yep,
I
yep.
can get with you a little bit about Andre 3000.
I'm sorry, Brian. The only reason why I said it because he's from the South, and so
All right. No, that's
I'm
fine.
from the dirty.
That's fine. We're cultured here.
yes.
Ludacris is too.
We are. I don't know about them.
Wait, hold on.
Excuse me.
Who the hell is cultured? Are we talking about milk or butter or something? Like what?
There's so many ways we can go with this right now, and I'm trying to figure out
I
which, way,
am-
which
I-
way do we not get canceled.
I pride myself on being uncultured swine. So I mean, we got this guy in here who just said Andre 3000 is the greatest rapper. That's culture right there, my guy.
That's what
Will
we just
Smith
said.
is not culture.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. So I got another. I
Keep
got
my
one more.
wife's name
Hey,
Out of your
mouth.
mouth.
I have another trivia question.
Let's do it.
All right. This one involves the Big Hurt.
Okay.
Two things. One really cool thing about him.
Tim
Here we
Raines.
go. No, listen.
Good friend.
So here's one really interesting stat about him, and then we're going to do the trivia. He's the only player with 10,000 plate appearances in Major League Baseball history and 0 sacrifice bunts.
I'm sure he didn't know how.
I'm sure they didn't want him to.
And also,
He-
who teaches the Hurt to bunt?
I'm just telling, but he's the only
That's-
player in Major
that-
League
I-
history.
Yeah.
It's
with
just- it's just-
10,000
it's-
at bats.
It's
That's
just called.
crazy.
It's
All
just.
right.
That's the Snapple lid fact.
Yeah, his bunt was a single. so
Interesting
that's it.
facts,
Yeah, and I
right?
was like, all
See?
right, all
All right, so here we go. Here's the trivia question. So he hit 500 home runs and had a 300 career batting average. He is one of only 9 major league players to have accomplished that.
Frank Thomas at 300 in his career.
Yep. He
So
had a
he
300
said-
career batting average and hit 500 and I think it was 521 home runs.
All right, so what?
No.
There's only 8 other players who have done this in Major League history.
hit 300 and hit over 500 home runs.
300 career batting average and 500 career home runs.
All right, let's go with Ted Williams.
Bingo.
Let's go with Barry Bonds.
Nope.
Did he not hit 300?
Apparently not.
Apparently
Babe
not.
Ruth.
He's not on the list. Who said Babe Ruth?
Yeah.
Bingo.
Mickey Mantle.
Nope.
Okay.
Hank Aaron.
Yes.
Hammer and Hank for sure.
Griffey.
Nope.
He didn't hit 500. A-Rod.
What?
Nope.
Ken Griffey Jr. did not hit 500 home runs.
300.
You're right.
His batting average. Sorry.
I was gonna say
Um,
you're right. He hit 600.
No. Jimmy Fox?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
There's probably one you won't get.
Who? I'm sorry. Who have we gotten so far?
Babe Ruth,
Mhm.
Jimmy Fox,
Mhm.
Ted Williams, and Hank Aaron.
And there's 4 more.
There's 4 more.
Mm-hmm.
not,
Pujols.
No,
not,
Dang.
no. Maris didn't have a great batting average.
I didn't have 500 home runs.
Maris had 500, did he not?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
I just like always throwing his
Of
name
the
out here.
4, 3 you'll know, 1 you may not know.
Stan Musial.
No,
Eddie Murray.
Every time.
no.
Man had 3,000 hits. I figured it was a given.
Why couldn't Ichiro?
Oh,
be more
gosh.
Willie
powerful?
Mays.
Bingo. That's
Yeah.
1. Yep. Willie Mays.
I had a feeling it was somebody wearing orange.
Yeah, he did do that.
He did.
Were any of them catchers?
I'll tell you what. No.
Okay.
One of these, if you don't get, you're gonna be
Me?
disappointed in yourself.
Not
Yes.
Ortiz.
No.
So it's you specifically.
Jim Rice.
No.
Lou Gehrig.
No, it's a Red Sox. That's why he's saying it.
No, I was just. There's still 3 other people.
Oh, yes.
No.
Fisk.
No.
What? Who am I throwing out here that I'm not thinking of?
Yeah.
Did Manny
Oh,
have
that's a good
500?
one.
Manny didn't have.
No,
500.
man, he didn't. What? No, he didn't. He certainly didn't bat 300.
Mm.
Who am I not thinking of here, Brian? Man, give me a hint. Give me a hint.
You got the right team.
Well, of course I do.
I'm almost positive it's not, but it's not Alex Rodriguez, right?
I
No,
already said A.
Not Alex Rodriguez.
You play for the Sox.
Yes.
Is this one we should know?
Yes.
It's
He
not
looked-
the
he
random
looked at
one.
You
and
got
said
2 of
you'd be
them that you
kicking
should
yourself
know.
if you didn't.
2 out of the next 3 you should know. One, I'll give you the one you're not going to know. Mel Ott.
No,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have
no,
guessed
I
that.
never
But
would've guessed
Mel
it.
All
Ott-
right. So the other 2 you will know.
Can you give me like a time frame this guy played?
He would have
Like
70s?
No,
Earlier.
later.
later. Both of them
Oh.
played later.
Wow.
The one that you just gonna kick you is
Don't give him too much of a clue.
no.
Well,
no,
wait a
no,
minute.
No, I'm gonna give him a time frame. I would say
Oh, okay. Wade Boggs.
No.
We gotta move along.
We got to move along. All right.
Mm.
Gi-
Here's the
give
2
me
you
another
missed.
hint.
No.
Just give me another hint.
Go.
No,
Here's the 2 you missed. So Miguel Cabrera,
Miggy. How did I forget this?
and the one that you missed that you should have known, Manny Ramirez.
I didn't think Manny hit 500 homers.
Yes, he did.
I did not think he hit
Wow.
500. And I certainly didn't think the man had a 300 batting average.
Look it up.
I'm actually going to call false on this one. I'm just saying, man. Okay, so you should have said when he said Manny, you
All
should
right,
have gave.
go
it.
ahead.
Now
I'm going to
we're
look it up.
questioning
You
the
start talking
professor.
about the NBA.
So
Yeah,
help me
I
God.
got a trivia question leading into this. We're
Okay,
going to
go
go to
ahead.
the NBA.
Yep.
The Indiana Fever averaged more attendees than 5 of the NBA teams. Who were they?
The Hornets.
Hornets.
It's one of
The
them.
Because they
Washington-
suck.
The Washington
Wizards.
Wizards. The
What's
Utah
another one?
Jazz.
Who'd you say?
The Utah Jazz.
Nope.
No.
The Nets.
Nope.
Not a Brooklyn Ghost.
I'm gonna,
The Magic.
Nope.
No, they sell out.
no.
They win.
I'm gonna say.
You
don't-
gotta
don't you
losers.
dare.
Think losers. Think losers. Don't think winners.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly
The
it.
Pelicans.
Yep.
Nope.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
The Magic.
No.
Nope.
He
you
just said
that.
I know.
Shut
I
up.
just want to say it
You got
again.
2. You got 3. You got 3 left. One of them may
Chicago.
surprise you. I don't know.
Chicago.
Nope.
No.
Really?
Too big of a city.
No.
They suck.
Yeah, but they're the Bulls.
They're still too big of a city. yet.
Toronto.
Nope.
Nope.
It's not it.
You gonna say it and it's gonna hit me
Holy
right away.
fudge. The Kings.
Nope.
Sacramento. No.
Nope.
No. They just started
Nuggets.
getting good.
Bruh.
Nope. Too good.
The
No.
Nuggets.
Nuggets.
Too good. Too good. It's not.
One of
Port-
them is
so-
going to shock you. Probably
Memphis.
most of them.
Memphis.
Yep. Memphis is a third one.
That doesn't surprise
You
me.
No,
got
it
2
doesn't.
left. You got 2 left. One of them's going to surprise you. The other one you haven't thought of because you
The
there's no
Hawks.
need to. That's the 4th one.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
You have one more left.
Is this the one that's going to surprise us?
The Bucks.
Yes.
I'm just
All
kidding.
right, now we're
No.
going
This
to
one-
playoff teams. Indiana.
Yep.
Wait, what?
The Pacers are on that list,
Game
which
between
was
The
us.
pretty
Fever
surprising.
average better attendance.
Average
Heck
better
yeah.
attendance
Caitlin Clark
than the
effect.
Pacers. Caitlin Clark
Yeah.
also was responsible, according to NBC News, for 26.5% of all WNBA economic
ticket
activity
pri-
last season.
The ticket prices for the Chicago
There you go.
Sky
Hit
Have
it.
just plummeted.
Hit it.
just dropped like
Yeah.
Yeah.
60
You want
bucks.
to? You, also, you want to know? It's 84 down to 25.
down
Yeah,
to $25.
Yep.
All right, Harry. Your man Manny,
Okay.
his career batting average was 312, and he hit just barely over 500 home runs at 555.
Yeah, just barely. You're
Just
right.
barely.
Just barely. No one.
So it's
no
not
one,
false.
No,
It's true.
no one really wants to pay to watch someone build a brick wall.
Look, listen.
If I wanted to do that, I go to a
listen,
construction
listen,
yard.
Listen, I try to be unbiased
Go ahead.
when it comes to the WNBA. It just
So
sports
do
in
we.
general.
But
I need Angel Reese to make layups. Now she's one of the best rebounders of the league. She's leading it by like 2 or 3 rebounds in total.
Well, of
when
course,
I'm like,
because she
when
has,
I'm more or less hitting the bottom of the rim and it bounces right back at me, I probably should still catch it.
Angel
Now-
Reese has the she's got that new meal at McDonald's, the 1 for $5 special.
That
Throw them
meal-
one, you get
Nothing but
5
net.
rebounds.
That
Is
meal-
that how you, Mark? Is that how you pad your rebounding stats?
It is.
A
Right.
little bit, a lot of bit.
It's
Angel
like,
Reese a bit.
it's a little bit different when you can tell like, okay, you just missed a tip, like a tip putback. or something.
You know.
You're shooting, you're like trying to make the initial layup and then it's not close. And then you like, and she has a great tenacity from finding the ball, but then after that, everything just falls apart.
I would too if I knew exactly where it was going every time because I threw it there. Look, she has so her field goal percentage right now is at 30.3%.
Which is up from the 22.
Correct.
What?
When it was at 22% prior to their previous game, she was shooting a worse percentage than Jonte Porter.
Who was trying to miss.
He was the guy that got banned from the NBA for gambling.
Oh, that's right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So the dude who
Trying
was
to miss.
trying to miss
Shot
still
better.
had a better shooting percentage than the person who is telling us that we should be watching because of her.
And let's talk
as
about
well.
the fact that she's got a 30% shooting percentage from 4 feet from the rim.
Is that not what Mark just said?
No.
Her
So
3-point
she's shooting. No, she's shooting 30% in general.
Oh,
The
okay.
majority
okay.
of her shots are layups.
Okay.
Yes.
And they're just
Okay.
not going in.
like literally and figuratively layups.
Okay.
Like if you do the percentile, it's like 98 percentile, like 4 feet.
What, Brian? It'd be like
She-
having relations with a very. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go that way.
She's a forward, right? Like
FCC.
really like more 4 borderline 5,
She's
right?
she's a
FCC.
she
forward,
has
yeah.
a higher she has a higher 3-point percentage than she does her overall field goal percentage.
and she's not a good shooter.
Whoa.
She's not a good shooter. That kills me. I didn't
We
even
don't
figure it out.
want to say it. It's not that we take
I-
joy in this,
no,
but like
at all. I want to see her get better. but
when
it kills
you-
me.
when you put
spit-
yourself there,
you spent all summer doing fashion and you got a podcast and deals and all this other stuff.
McDonald's knows.
So-
Aaron Gordon is I follow Jokic. Aaron Gordon is a great teammate for Nikola Jokic. He built a gym in his house and infinitely got better at shooting the three. I need something similar to that. You
So-
have to improve.
So back to something that was brought up here maybe last week or the week
It
before.
was last week.
Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese is really a rivalry. Mark's saying no because
Yes,
That's what I said. I said it'd be rivalry if they were both good.
yeah.
I think it is because
It's
as
a
much
hate
as
thing.
much as we love, the world loves Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese still has that one up on her
Well, that's
in
true.
that national
Yeah.
Well, that's what we
championship.
said that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
always
that's what I
gonna-
said. It's like chasing smoke. I don't know why
but
at this
until-
point.
But until Caitlin wins the WNBA finals, there's
Yeah.
always Angel Reese is always gonna have that. After that happens, then this conversation won't be much more. But
So
I don't. Look,
Just,
if,
this
if
is what I'm
she
gonna tell
keeps
you
shooting
about
30% in the WNBA, we're not going to be talking about it a whole lot. more.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this because she'll have a nice career over in Europe. But I don't know if she's got that one up that people like to talk about. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now. Yes, LSU won a national championship.
LSU.
LSU did.
LSU.
Caitlin Clark broke the scoring record.
no, okay. So you about to tell me stuff I saw and witnessed live and direct. I'm not gonna disagree with you. But what's the one thing she don't have? She
She
I
ain't
love
got a
Caitlin
ring.
Clark. Caitlin
Yeah.
Clark has no rings
None.
across nothing.
And she had a couple chances.
She had a couple chances and lost both times. I love her. She got smacked by UConn during the COVID year.
Oh, yes,
she
she
got
did.
sent home early her sophomore year when they was at home and lost
Mhm.
it. So, and then you had the close one versus LSU where it wasn't Angel Reese, it wasn't Caitlin Clark who saved the day, it was Jasmine Carson.
Mhm.
But you lost that game, and then
Lost to South
So
Carolina.
South Carolina.
let me just ask you this, and just comparing one to the other,
Mm.
which one's a better basketball player?
you know the answer to that.
The world knows the answer.
We
to
love
that.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. The one thing I will say that Angel Reese has got going for her is that she is almost to me. Tell me if you feel this way. She's almost like a Dennis Rodman of women's basketball
so,
right now.
Okay. Me and my
And-
dad just had this discussion. It's Dennis Rodman until the shot is going back up. Because
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman, he won't take a shot for the whole game, but he'll
Mhm.
give you 25 rebounds.
Exactly.
But that's
Yeah,
all I need.
yeah.
That and the defense that you bring. That's
But
all I
she's
need.
also got that swagger / personality.
She's a confident woman.
Yeah.
And she can play deep. She just won the defensive player of the year in that Unrivaled.
Yeah.
Defensive player, some of the best WNBA players in the world, and you were the defensive player of the year. So you have the defense, you have the rebounding, but to the average casual viewer, I don't really care about that. You got to put points on the board.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
again, I
Yeah.
don't pay money. Like I play money to watch good defense. And if I
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
Tony Allen, I could have preached Tony Allen all
Yep.
day
Mhm.
because Tony Allen was tenacious defensively.
And he would let you know that.
Right.
But
Tony
it's-
Allen was also somewhat competent offensively.
Yeah.
So I could watch him do
Not
that.
much.
Not
Marcus
like
Smart.
the possession. Two games ago where it was like she had 6 different times where she got an offensive rebound,
offensive rebounds.
and then finally kicked it out. There's 3 people in the paint and just her, and then she finally kicked. Like you got to have awareness, man.
Yeah.
But to be
Yeah.
fair, and I will say this, and this is not a knock. in
And then we're
general.
gonna move on because there's
Yeah.
more things to
Yeah.
talk
that
about.
that what you're just talking about is an epidemic more in women's basketball in general. I mean,
it's
That's
some-
basketball's
this
in
is
a bad
that's just
spot.
basketball below the age of 20.
okay.
If I'm being
yeah.
honest, because you go to a high school game, you'd be like,
All
"What
the time.
did you just do?"
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's
Back
like-
up. Back
like,
up. Go back up with it.
No,
No.
stop doing that.
You got 5 guys standing, or not 5, but like 3 guys standing out on the perimeter.
Now, if it's
Kick it, bro.
if
Throw
he's
it out there.
smaller than you, if Angel Reese had did that and Caitlin Clark was in the paint and she got 5 offensive rebounds in a row, you better keep shooting the ball. The problem is you have 6'6" John Quill Jones next to you, and then a 6'4" Brianna Stewart next to you.
Mhm.
You're
Please give it to
6'3".
someone.
It's not working.
No,
Yeah.
It's not.
Go,
Working.
go. Pass it.
Pass it up.
Please.
All right. So speaking of basketball, we're into the NBA playoffs. Pacers and Knicks are getting ready to play game 4 tonight. Pacers lead the series 2-1. Knicks won. What was the score? 106-100 just a couple nights ago on Sunday. Pacers
Nice little
actually
comeback.
led the game by as many as 20 in the first half and 13 at the half, and ended up getting
Celtic.
beat.
Yeah, do we notice how many big leads have been given up in the playoffs?
I said this.
Lot.
This is some of the best basketball we've seen in a long time.
Or
'Cause, no, Yeah,
or the worst.
some of the best.
Depends on which team.
I mean, if you're up by
Right,
20
but
in the
his
fourth
luck-
quarter,
yeah, it depends on which team.
Now,
No,
listen,
it was in the first half.
no,
in the
they were
but
by
the
10 in the fourth
Celtics,
quarter.
yeah.
Yeah.
but they did blow. But I mean, we've seen a 30-point comeback from the Thunder. I mean,
In
this-
that term, yes.
Like we've seen some
Sure.
some fight in these teams, and we all have had that moment in some of these blowout games where it's like, oh, it's a 20-point lead. I'm turning this game off. I'm doing something else in my life, and then you tune back in, and then it's a 4-point game.
Agree.
Who like right now, 4 remaining teams, who's your favorite? There should be one real answer here.
Like that you think can win,
That
or
can
who's
win.
your
Who think
favorite?
who's
Who's your
gonna win?
favorite to win of the 4
Oh,
teams
my
remaining?
favorite to win
It should be an easy
is
answer.
Oklahoma City.
Right,
But who I want to win
right,
is Minnesota Timberwolves.
right. Well, that's not happening.
That's not
so,
happening.
well, yeah, and Harry and I said the same thing last week. I think actually all of us said the same thing last week, but we know. Game 3. How much did they lose by?
Oh,
OKC.
42 points.
Mm. It's been really good when you have those comebacks, and it's really exciting. But I feel like if it's not like this tremendous comeback, it's like some team just absolutely getting boat raced.
But I think that if it'd be different if all of these blowouts were, I mean, these comebacks were at home. These comebacks have all been on the road for the Knicks.
for the most part, yeah.
So the Knicks had
Yeah.
2 in Boston, and then this one,
Then this
and
one,
then
right.
Oklahoma City had the one in Memphis.
Right.
So I think the comebacks. Yeah, I think it would change if, like, because those
Yeah.
YouTube videos that you see, loudest crowd moments,
Right.
would come from those games.
But that's good. But I feel like the other parts of the playoffs so far have been like massive blowouts. I mean,
Yeah, no,
almost the
they're- yeah.
entire Cleveland Indiana series was blowouts.
No, they had some good games in that one. Because
One?
Tyrese, no, they had like 3 or 4. 'Cause-
Two?
No, in Indiana. I say the 3 in Cleveland.
Well, game 3 in Cleveland blew out Indiana at home.
No, the 3 in Cleveland. So the first one in Cleveland,
Mm-hmm.
game 1, game 2, Tyrese hit the game winner,
Mhm.
and then game 5 when Cleveland was down by like 15, and then they started to make a run at it and started making shots late, but then they just fell apart at the end. So the 2 in Indiana, bad,
Terrible.
but the other 3, great games.
I'm just saying, I feel like there's been a lot of bad basketball plays.
Oh, there's been a lot of
There's
bad
been
basketball.
exciting basketball.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of bad
There's been a lot
basketball
of bad
plays.
All right.
well, I'm just going to put this out there. What there's been an epidemic of is inconsistent basketball.
Well, that's basketball today.
No, I mean it's been dude the 20-point freaking swings. The way this is happening in the playoffs. The one thing I like is it shows fight from
Yes,
those teams.
The Knicks,
But
love
it's
Knicks,
the
yeah.
quality of basketball at that point is not necessarily as good. But again, if you're in it for the atmosphere, the fight, the take away the technique part of basketball,
Yeah.
it is great for that.
It's going for that.
Yeah.
It's going for
All
that.
right. So Pacers, Knicks. Are we still thinking? I think last week y'all were talking about the Knicks winning, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still
Game's the
stand
one.
by
You're still
it.
staying with the
Still
Knicks.
stand by it. Look, if we're not talking about Indiana coming back and having, I mean, what Naismith going absolutely bonkers at the end of game 1,
He caught it. He caught
and
on
and
fire,
the
yeah.
like shooters bounce of all shooters
Right,
bounces.
Yeah. It's
At
2
the end
to
of
1
regulation,
Knicks.
right?
Right.
That game is with the Knicks. Hang on, and then what game 2 was almost a similar situation.
Yeah, they kind of took off at the end.
Right, exactly. So I mean, this is the series that New York has let get away.
Yeah, right.
Now, obviously, you don't want to go down 3-0 with a chance of a sweep on the road.
Right.
So the win 2 nights ago was massive for New York.
And you could feel it. I don't know. There's a lot of Knicks fans in Indiana. You could just it just
Oh, it was
felt
different.
It just felt different.
It was
like,
different.
yeah.
I'll tell you what. If New York wins tonight, New York's winning the series.
All you
Well,
gotta do- yeah.
I was gonna say I said this last week. I said I felt like it's probably gonna go 7. I feel like Knicks win in 7.
Yep.
Right now, I think it's lined up perfectly because I think Knicks win tonight. It's 2-2. Pacers are gonna get one more, and I think
They're
the
gonna
win.
split. They're gonna
yeah.
split the next 3.
Yeah.
And this is what I'll tell you. This is kind of you talk about cool tendencies or things about basketball. These are 2 teams that we haven't seen in this position for a hot second.
Yep.
Like
That's true.
together,
Oh,
Yeah.
together.
Against each other.
I was saying,
Against each other, yeah.
No, I know the
last
Pacers
year.
have been there, but I mean like together.
Against each other. Yeah.
What's cool about this series is you got the team that represents the mecca of basketball
Yep.
against the team that represents the birthplace
The
of
home,
basketball.
the home of basketball. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you could say the bottom right now as far as attendance is concerned, apparently, because the
Well,
Pacers
there's
didn't
that
really
too.
get great attendance this year.
No, I'm more referring to. I mean, basketball was
Hoos-
created.
Hoosiers.
Yeah.
Hoosiers.
So
Nice.
it's just kind of cool. This
Yeah.
is basketball country
Yep.
essentially.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
And it's producing some great, great basketball too.
I do think New York there's a little bit of blood in the water.
Yeah.
And they've got to capitalize tonight.
It was
Yeah.
like when the Sox won game 4 against the
04.
Yankees
04,
in
yeah.
04. And Millar said before the game, "Don't let us win one."
Don't.
Yeah.
I say it all the time, especially in these situations where a team is supposed to win. It could be in any sport.
Yep.
Do not let that team get that one win, because then that's the overall confidence that they need, and they start hanging around, and they're like, "All right, we can do this. We can
Exactly.
just hang
Because that's the
around."
thing. Like, look, like realistically, New York needs to win 4 out of the next 5,
Mhm.
right? Starting with game 3, then you win 4 out of 5.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now they win 1. Well, now it becomes 3 out of 4.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so every time
The
they
numbers-
get
the
one,
numbers
that
start
number
showing.
goes
That
down.
number goes down.
And
So
they know they're supposed
they
to
know
win these
that.
games. Yeah.
Now, where does that come into play? Because it's not like New York doesn't have playoff experience, and something that they weren't last year, at least for the most part, is healthy.
Yep.
So we're now talking to the Pacers were the same thing. Obviously, both these teams played the Celtics last year, and they got injured during those series.
Got shot out the gym.
Right. So, but that's not happening here. Look, it comes down
They were
What
ready
do
for
we
that
wanna-
this year.
Uh-huh.
whether we want to talk about it or not. It's Brunson, it's
Yep.
Karl Anthony Towns
Yep.
for New York.
Okay.
These are your superstars against Tyrese and who Pascal Siakam.
30.
Pascal,
They had
yeah.
31 points in the second half on
Yeah.
2 nights
That's
ago.
something
Yeah.
Jeff-
So I mean,
that can't
big.
happen.
Towns had 20 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And then real quick, Timberwolves, Timberwolves, Thunder. Well, who called the sweep?
After last night,
Was
the
it this
game-
guy?
Is it over?
Oh,
Well,
no.
I mean,
Not this guy, but the guy that was
Justice,
sitting
yeah.
here.
Yeah, Big Steve.
Yeah, he ain't too
Big
far
Ron.
off.
He's big wrong.
Look,
He big wrong.
I mean, Anthony Edwards to just shoot. You have no reason to not shoot the
2
ball.
shots.
He had
in the
3 shots in the
first
third
half.
quarter.
Hey, so in
And
that
two-
game,
but
in,
2
in
in the
game
entire
4,
first half.
in game 4, Edwards and Randall took only 20 shots.
not enough.
SGA took 30 by himself.
That's not that's not gonna fly. I don't care how stifling it. Shoot. You
Need-
got an ounce of let it fly.
Yeah.
Need your
They
superstars.
need
to
you
be
to
there.
be a superstar.
You miss
have to
100% of the shots you don't
Exactly.
take,
Hey,
right?
calm down, Michael Scott.
He's Ant's interview afterwards. He was like, "Yeah, I'm making the right play." I was like, "Yeah, that's great." In November, we ain't in November.
I appreciate your
Yeah,
modesty and wanting to
yeah.
be team guy. I get it. Hey, you are
You-
the dude.
You being selfish is best for the team right now.
Yes.
So do that.
Take a shot, man. Like, cause they look. Let's be honest. Who, realistically, 1-on-1, who on Oklahoma City is going to take Anthony Edwards?
No one.
No one. It's no different than SGA on the other side.
But I think part of it is because Minnesota, outside of Julius Randle, who's struggled the last 3 games, doesn't really have a creative weapon. All Oklahoma City does is just play one pass away, and so they just shrink the floor, and then
And that's that.
You have to make shots.
Yes.
You just have to make
Yep.
shots. So
But I mean, look at that. They do that. Minnesota loses by 2 last night.
2.
I mean, it's that.
But
It's
they're-
that
and
close.
their defense has Minnesota's defense, which I thought would be the difference in this series, has sucked.
Yeah,
this series
it hasn't shown
It's
up.
been horrible.
Yep.
So
All right, we're going to take a commercial break and we're going to come back and get TJ on the phone and talk some AHL hockey.
oh yeah,
Ryan Scott's over here at Randy Marion Ford. What's going on?
Billy Buck, new location, Randy Marion Ford Pre-Owned, right here on Folger Drive. Yes, right across the interstate from the main Ford Lincoln showroom. We have moved over here, so number 1, we can stock more units. Number 2, we can service our customers better. And number 3, when you stock more units in volume, the prices are better. So Randy Marion Ford Pre-Owned, right here on Folger Drive, right across the interstate from the main Ford and Lincoln showroom. Come see us today.
At Piedmont Healthcare, we believe in more than just treating patients. We're committed to understanding and addressing the unique needs facing our community. Being a physician-owned network means that we're not just healthcare providers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your partners in health. With strong ties to local communities, we're able to offer personalized care that truly understands your needs. When you choose Piedmont Healthcare, you're not just choosing healthcare, you're choosing to be part of a community that cares. If you're ready to experience the difference for yourself, call our new patient hotline at 833-PHC for you. That's 833-742-4968. Or you can just request an appointment online, phcappointments.com.
Real Country is 550 AM WAME, 92.9 W225BD, Statesville.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Sports Recap Show on 92.9 WAME. Brought to you by the Charlotte Checkers, Mark the Rookie Covert, Brian the Professor Suarez, Bryson the Commander Davis, Justice the Engineer
Wallace.
Wallace.
it.
Bang. And speaking of Justice the Engineer, We have the Manny Engineers 4 here from the frosty heights of Montreal. Joining us live here on the Sports Recap Show, your voice of the Charlotte Checkers, TJ Shalott. TJ, how we doing, good friend?
Doing good, man. We just got off the plane a couple hours ago. We're getting settled here in Canada. We're ready to go.
Like to hear it, man.
Cool. Game 1 against the Rocket tomorrow night at Place Bell, right?
That's right. We're pumped. We're getting set and ready to go. I mean, it's look. Anytime I can keep talking to you guys, that means obviously the team is still moving on, so that's always a good thing. Now we kind of turn the focus. You know, the Hershey series has been over for almost a week, and our attention now is on the Rocket.
Hey TJ, I don't know if you know me. My name is Justice Wallace.
Justice, get the puck out of here, Wallace.
So, I didn't have no question. It's just good to hear from you, knowing that you situated and all that other stuff, because we gonna be working together tomorrow. But good to know you safe.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good to know that we got some more home games coming too. So we'll see each other for sure before the summer gets here. So
yes, sir.
I'm interested to see what this series brings. You know, these are two teams that haven't seen each other in 7 years, and obviously a lot has changed in those 7 years, including an affiliation for the Charlotte Checkers, and it's all new players, all that stuff. So I'm curious to see what these two teams are going to bring to it. I think Montreal's a little bit on the smaller side, a little bit more on the quick, on the shiftier side, whereas the Checkers tend to like to play that hard and right in your face style game with good defense. But I think it's going to be a low scoring series, but I can see this one going the distance.
Hey, and so we just climbed the mountain and beat the 2-time defending Calder Cup champs 3-0. And now we have to take on the number 1 team in the AHL, as the Rocket had 101 points during the regular season.
Yeah, and look, of course they were tops in the Eastern Conference, tops in the American Hockey League this year, but not by much. I mean, they were only 7 points ahead of where the Checkers ended up finishing. So it's not a runaway train like we've seen in some years past, where some team is 20, 30 points out in front of everybody else. So it's going to be a serious contest between these two teams. It's going to be very evenly matched. So I'm not looking at this. I know that the Checkers are a 2 seed going in from the Atlantic Division, and Laval, of course, being a 1 seed out of the North and the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Technically, the Checkers are the underdogs, but I really don't see it that way. I see these two teams matching up really well. This is going to be a fun, evenly fought series.
TJ, with that win, obviously, against Hershey, now on the back burner, but still kind of in the minds of the players, where do you think, as you kind of spoke on that confidence level, where do you think that is? Like, as players currently stand going on the road again to face another top-tier team?
I think the confidence level is really high. Just seeing them around the locker room this past weekend and seeing the guys around, the vibes are high. They're feeling really good. I mean, obviously, when you can sweep the 2-time defending Calder Cup champions, you're going to get a little bit of a momentum boost from that. So I think the key is going to be with the leadership group and the coaches to make sure that just kind of doesn't get out of proportion. You want to make sure you're still humble about the whole experience, and that you realize that, what you've done is great, but that doesn't mean that it's going to set you up for any future success. You still got to play your game. You still got to do everything by the book. So I think, they're very confident. They're feeling good, but the key is going to just not to be too overconfident, because that's kind of where you can start getting yourself in trouble and start, your feet get out in front of you and you tumble down.
Hey, quick question. So I noticed yesterday I watched the interview with Coach Kinnear, and there's a potential that maybe we get one of our defensemen back who'd been out on injury. I think he skated yesterday, and there's maybe the potential of Kierstad coming back.
Yeah, nothing official just yet, but like you mentioned in that interview, it did say it was a little foreboding that sounds like Matt Kierstad will be returning to the lineup. Will it be tomorrow night for Game 1, or will it be Thursday night for Game 2, or maybe perhaps later in the series? That's to be determined so far, but it seems like he's trending in the right direction, and that's good news for the Checkers. I mean, look, he's one of their alternate captains. He's been here the last 4 seasons. He's a guy that a lot of the young kids look up to, just to kind of navigate their way through this American Hockey League experience. So it's good to get him back, and even if he's not back on the ice, he's on the trip, so it's nice to have some of that veteran leadership here just kind of helping out behind the scenes.
TJ, I wanted to ask you real quick. Obviously Canadian hockey, it is what it is up there. It's huge. What do you expect the atmosphere to be like up there, and how do you expect the players to respond to that?
If it's going to be anything like what we saw for the Rochester series against Laval, it's going to be a packed house. I know these fans are absolutely diehard here in Montreal. It's going to be pretty volatile. You know, it's going to be one of those areas where the Checkers are going to have to just get that first goal, try and take the crowd out of it early. But fortunately for them, I mean, it was a pretty hostile environment in Hershey for Game 3, and they even fell down 2-0 in that series, and all of a sudden, you know, the Checkers were able to battle back and win that Game 3 and earn the sweep. So I don't think they're scared to be playing in a place like Laval, but I do know it's going to be a little hostile. It's going to be an environment where a lot of fans are going to be very loud. It's not going to be a quiet building. So we'll see how the Checkers deal with that.
The difference is in Hershey, when the fans get rowdy, they throw chocolate syrup at you.
Mm-hmm.
In Montreal, they're throwing Molson's.
Hey, look, as long as no one comes up into my press box and throws a chair at me, we'll be fine.
Oh, mama.
If anybody has any idea what I'm talking about, in the Abbotsford and Colorado series in the Western Conference, there was a fan in Colorado who got up into the Abbotsford broadcasters area, threw a chair at him while he was live on air, and then just kind of walked away.
What? Really quick.
Did the broadcast?
Did he break?
Yeah.
Well, no, he stuttered a little bit because I think it took him a second to kind of process what was going on. But he had a great line. He told the guy, he was like, "Go get another beer, buddy."
My guy.
It was fantastic.
My guy.
Yeah, it was fantastic. As long as that doesn't happen, I'll be happy.
Listen, if anybody ever poses a threat to TJ, he know he can call me because we handle business.
I was going to say he must have not had his justice with it.
Yeah,
because-
no.
Well,
Yeah, but
and then Justice can call us now.
The
We'll
man,
bring
in,
the beef.
the man in the chair.
Yeah, but in Charlotte,
Justice
but in
knows.
Charlotte,
He
it'd be,
knows
pretty,
he's the bouncer at that door. He knows.
it'd be pretty hard to carry a chair up there, though.
It,
You know?
it would be hard to get a chair.
It's
Maybe a
not.
stool.
Not with beer.
Yeah, that's true. All right, hey TJ, real quick. I know you got to go. Couple things. What do you think about Hurricanes, Panthers? I think the Hurricanes played much better last night, but I still don't think they're going to win the series.
I agree with you there, man. I was watching that game, and there were so many opportunities for Florida. They just got so close, and then just couldn't put it away. I was texting with Zach Harvey, our director of creative services, last night. It's like, this is like when you're playing football and you get down to the 2-yard line on 4 consecutive drives and then walk away with no points. Like, that's just how that game felt. Like, it was just, they had chance after chance. They were doing everything right, but it wasn't falling in their favor. So let Carolina have the game.
Sounds
I
like a
think Florida
Panthers
still
game.
puts them away.
All right, and then the Oilers and the Stars. The thing I think about this one, I haven't watched much, but I've been listening a little bit. I think my biggest surprise here is the way Skinner's played in goal for the Oilers.
Yeah, it's hit or miss with him. I mean, feast or famine, to pull out another cliche. It's just, what's he doing? What Skinner are you going to get from him? Obviously, they have the 2-1 lead, so they can play from ahead now a little bit this series. But I'm still kind of pulling for the Dallas Stars. I mentioned this earlier today that I would love nothing more than a Florida-Dallas NHL Stanley Cup final and a Charlotte-Texas AHL final, and have the two affiliates go at it, since they're both in their respective Final Fours. So I think that would be really neat. But I do think Edmonton's probably a little bit more of a powerful team, and we're probably going to see a
All right,
Stanley Cup final.
I got
rematch.
one. Hey, I got one more for you. I think while you're up there, I need you to research something for me. So I looked this up. I think it's kind of weird. It's the Laval Rocket, not Rockets. I want to know why it's Rocket. I have my theories.
Okay.
I have my theories.
Okay.
I need you to investigate that
I,
for me.
I can tell you, number one, it was probably Montreal and Molson involved.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, there's also just lately there's been a ton of, the non-plural team names.
The Mammoth. Look at the Mammoth.
The Kraken.
Oh, that's
know.
true.
It also could
Ah.
represent Canada's national missile defense.
Okay. Wow. I was gonna
All
say
right.
I was gonna say because in the name, I realized this, in the name Illinois, you don't say the S.
Right.
So
It's not,
up there in
Yeah.
Canada, they might just take the S off a lot of things.
That's
Yeah.
their sign.
All right.
They used to be the
There's
experts.
a
Good
science
thinking. I'll look into that if I don't
Yeah.
find out.
Look into that and see if
Sorry.
you can find out, man. See if you'll prove my theory correct.
And TJ, I expect
Let
this of you.
man Go.
Huh?
Let
Real
this
quick. I
man
expect this
go.
of you, and I expect a picture. Get some good poutine while you're up there, man.
Ooh.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. May or may not be on the way to go do that right now.
All right.
Oh, let's FaceTime, man.
All right, TJ. Well, thanks for calling in. We'll keep all our listeners abreast. And the Charlotte Checkers will actually play home on Sunday and Tuesday. Will be game 3 on Sunday. Puck drops at 4:00. Tuesday night, puck drops at 7 o'clock. And if they're necessary game 5, the puck drops Thursday night at 7 p.m.
I'm just gonna tell you now. I may be at the Tuesday night game and not here.
So, and
Hey,
TJ,
look, doors open an hour before each game, so we've got 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 6 o'clock.
Yep.
CharlotteCheckers.com. Get your tickets. Get on out. We're going to need a full house. You know, we want to make sure our environment's just as hostile as the one we're going to be walking into tomorrow night.
All right, TJ, thank you.
Thanks,
TJ.
TJ.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks, guys.
TJ. Have
See ya.
fun. So
That was
TJ Shalot.
Why do you always do Shalot?
Because
Like,
I,
like, how
I,
many
no,
times
I was
have we seen him
I'm
on
thinking
there?
of the silent S this guy just said, and I got the silent T in my head.
Shalom.
But that still is
Use
TJ
the O.
Shalot.
Lot.
Up there.
Lot.
A lot.
Lot.
He's enjoying
We
himself
like him
over
a
there.
lot.
I do like TJ. You know, I was thinking about it. So Hershey, they throw syrup. In Montreal, they throw the Molsons. In Charlotte, we're gonna throw the biscuits.
That's right.
The biscuits.
You know,
Why don't we
Bojangles-
throw
You know,
biscuits?
Bojangles is
No.
not forking over the money for that.
Well, we'll go to Chick-fil-A then, my guy.
You know, Chick-fil-A is not forking over the money for that. You
Oh.
got a great idea. I'm with you. I trust me.
All
That
right. I
could
mean,
be
hey,
the
look,
cheapest.
they could do it without doing it on Sundays.
Okay,
It's all fun and games till them biscuit particles get stuck in there.
so I make the
Nice.
joke, Justice. There's a certain establishment in Mooresville that serves biscuits after
Oh,
midnight.
No.
They are like hockey pucks, and I'm not
Oh.
kidding.
What do you mean like hockey pucks? How they are
Hard.
They're hard.
Oh no.
They're hard.
Oh no.
So we could get
Not
some of those
edible.
biscuits from that establishment
So, go ahead.
and bring them there. And I think you pay the $20 entrance fee to get in. They don't care what you do after that.
No,
Bro.
listen, you give me those and I'll give
You going to throw them on the ice after the game?
Yes,
That is actually a very good promotional idea.
But he's
Or-
right.
Yeah,
Bojangles
yeah,
ain't
yeah.
giving
No,
You know what
Bojangles ain't
you know what I want to
chuck
do?
a puck.
I'm gonna tell you what I
What
would
was
do.
your idea? What was your idea?
Throw
Throw
biscuits.
biscuits.
The
I-
actual bit. Why not just make like the little styrofoam
Yes.
hockey pucks, but shape
That-
them as
Yeah.
biscuits?
Or like little foam, or not
Or-
foam, like those stuff.
or-
Look,
shape them as biscuits.
I don't know about throwing anything that look like or feels like a hockey puck because what they be doing with the
No, no, no.
toss-
I mean like the
Yeah, but
stress
hold on,
ones.
hold
you know
on,
what I mean?
hold on.
Like something you would have on your desk in your office.
that ain't going
Or-
that far, 'cause they like to
or-
throw from the top.
When the game's over, we throw rats on the ice.
Okay, I ain't doing that.
No,
No.
because
No.
that's
It's
that,
already
nah,
used,
that's a
rats.
that's
Sorry to use.
that's reserved respectfully reserved for the
Okay.
next level
All
up.
right.
So they do that.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on all these playoffs. The Oilers and Stars are getting ready to play here.
By the
about
way, my
33
Hurricanes are
minutes.
coming for you, just so you know.
The
So we're gonna
Hurricanes
smoke
have
you.
won, and they will
4
play
games in a
tomorrow
row.
night. And
Four
maybe the,
games in a row.
maybe the series will be over tomorrow night.
Like how they lost 15 in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we're on the upswing.
they're
Did you not
1
say
and
we broke the
15 in
streak?
their last 16.
You know, I can only hear
2016
one of
final
you.
game.
You're not gonna hear one of you talking at the same time.
Sorry.
They suck.
I was trying to hear you talking crap to him talking crap to you, and Mark's just throwing little jabs in there when he can.
There's 3 going at once.
All right, so here we go.
Panthers
Real
suck.
quick. Let's move on a little bit. Last 15 minutes. MLB power rankings. Actually, I think Mark's team is on top.
Woo! Bryce
Phillies.
Harper got hit by a pitch on the elbow tonight. He already left the game. Spencer Strider sucks. The Braves suck. They're not going to go anywhere. I'm done.
The Braves are actually ranked 17 in the MLB top in the power rankings.
They're 13 too high.
You're 14.
Ugh.
My team is 22, and I didn't look up Chicago.
Don't
but
worry.
they're
we're
way down.
not last.
Wait,
we
wait,
are
wait.
not
Let's
last.
get this
oh,
Baltimore.
that's
No,
Chicago.
the
Got it.
Rockies.
That's
The
Chicago.
Rock, they are like the last time I checked, there's like 7 and
They lost their 45th game
Hey,
yesterday.
hey, I would love to bring to everyone's
That's
attention.
impressive.
Love to bring to everyone's attention. We swept the Rockies for the season in the last 4 game set. Yes, thank you. The very next day, they did beat the Yankees. So,
Well, they also suck.
correct.
we can all agree on that one.
Yeah.
Justice, I've made this joke. It doesn't matter what sport, what event, what venue, anything.
You
the
can
one the
always-
one chant you can get going at any arena, any
Yankees
sporting
suck.
event is Yankees suck.
You could do that with the Cowboys too.
Yeah. Hey, the Rockies are 9 and 45.
Yeah. Are they going to break the record
Yes.
the White
That
Sox
we
set
literally
last
just
year?
said. Yes.
They're trying.
Dude, let me. Hold on,
Boy,
'cause
they're
we-
trying.
Yeah, they're
at the-
trying.
At like the 60 game mark, so like 40 or 50 game mark, we was
50.
like 15 and 30 something.
Yeah, they've won 9 games.
They were
so
8
far.
and 42.
Mm.
So-
Hey, you know how I always tell y'all, no matter how good you are, you're going to win 54. No matter how bad you are, you're going to.
That's what you
They're
Yeah,
going to test you.
54.
No matter how good you are, you're going to
They're
win.
going
50.
some-
Wait, how many did the White Sox win last year?
41.
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
Sub 40. They're going sub 40.
Christ almighty.
They're going
You
sub
forget
40.
how bad it was
Oh, I know.
already.
Oh no, I don't.
They are
I just
24.
witnessed it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Honest to God, as a White Sox fan, we don't get this a lot, actually, ever. your current City Connect uniforms.
Oh yeah.
On like, does it? Because it irks me. I'm a Phillies fan, right? It irks me to see another professional team cosplaying as another professional team.
Look. We got wins in them jerseys. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All two
Like
of them.
the like they look good,
No, they don't.
but if they weren't the Bulls, that's what I'm saying.
They wouldn't look good regardless.
See, there he goes.
All
They
right.
should have just kept the South Side ones.
Yep. The dark, the baby blue.
Yeah, yep.
I'm not gonna discuss this no more. I hate them jerseys. I'm done.
All right. The road.
How do you feel about Shoeless Joe being eligible for the Hall of Fame?
Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, there
Do
you
it
go.
now.
All right.
Him and Pete Rose.
All right. Speaking of, the road to Omaha starts this weekend, boys.
You
College
driving?
World Series. Yep.
You driving?
Yeah.
Are you?
We're going. Yeah.
You going?
Really?
Yeah.
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 Hey, look at that. Bang.
Check this out.
Are you taking
Six-
the RV?
Yeah, if we were going out there, we would be. Yeah. 64 teams, right? 13 SEC teams, 9 from the ACC, and 8 from the Big 12. That's 30 of the 64 from just those 3 conferences.
So what you're telling me is the SEC is not just a football conference, as we found out in basketball and baseball.
You could no, you could
Yeah.
you could make a debate there a baseball conference. It's every year, man.
But I'm about to say
Every
it's either in
single
baseball.
year in baseball. And Vanderbilt's back on top of that.
Yep.
Couple down years. Vandy back up at the top.
I gotta ask you a question. Since you are going out there, you got your sweat rag ready?
He's not really.
Well, I'm not
out there,
really
bro.
going out
Okay.
there.
He did one
But,
year though.
but I
didn't he?
have been there.
Yeah.
I've been there twice.
All right, we're changing his name. Justice Gullible. I'm just kidding.
Listen, when he told me he had an RV and everything, I was like,
Oh, he does.
Yeah, I
That's
got
all
an
very
RV.
real. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
all
I'm like,
very real.
He must
But-
be going.
But actually, I have been out to Omaha twice when they played at Rosenblatt. It was really cool. Spent the whole week out there, whole first week to watch every game they played. I was there. And
I
here's the
won't-
funny thing: you're asking me about a sweat rag because you think it's super hot, right?
Yeah.
The first year we went out there, not knowing, we took only shorts. Okay.
Okay.
We got there on Friday, went to the 2 Friday night games. On Saturday in the morning, I had to go find like a mall or something to buy some long pants because it was
Ooh.
so cold. Yes. You think it was hot, and then there were a couple of days where it was warm, but the first year I was out there, it was quite cool the whole week. So
So the question is, you watching?
yeah, this is now. Wait a minute, that's the next one. Women's College World
sorry
Series
about
this
that.
weekend.
Well,
Oklahoma State.
I'll
OKC.
answer. I'll answer that anyways. I won't watch until they're in Omaha.
Yeah,
Like
I might watch a little bit.
college baseball is good. It's like of the big 3, if you will, sports, right? So
Mhm.
football, basketball, baseball. It is the one that I don't think you can make an argument that is better than the professional level. Personally speaking.
I think part of it is it's this time is so congested.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so I got to keep up with
NBA
Major League
playoffs,
Yeah,
Baseball,
yeah,
the NBA playoffs,
NHL,
the NHL playoffs,
right.
World Series.
the college basketball just ended, and then I got to worry about the women's college World Series.
Yep.
And this World Series.
It's all at once.
NASCAR.
Lacrosse just ended. If that you're into that thing,
Oh, I have to watch it at work. NASCAR is picking up, and then you got to worry about WNBA viewership's picking up. So I'm like, you really competing with a lot right now.
Well,
Yeah,
NASCAR is on Prime too. Did you see that? They did their first Amazon Prime
Really?
broadcast.
it was kind of weird.
It was
good.
It was the best NASCAR broadcast I've seen in a very long time. It was incredible compared to what Fox does. It was.
I mean, Fox-
Well, NBC's
insane.
worse than Fox.
Well, you had an hour and a half of post race coverage after the race was over. They're interviewing the
Well,
driver.
yeah, because they
They
have
never-
nothing else to play.
nothing
Yeah, but you.
There's nothing else to play. It's on
Exa-
Amazon.
But, like,
Exactly.
I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
'Cause I think Thursday night football,
It's the same way.
broadcast is amazing.
Yeah.
Now the product on the field might suck, but you
What?
get an hour leading in,
Mhm.
hour going out, and then you actually talking to people who know what they're
Well,
talking.
but it's more than an hour on the way out. Like they
Oh, yeah,
hang
they
around
sit
for
there.
a
Yeah, they sit there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, and it's cool though because you get to like
Mhm.
that's a good point. They get to like talk and diagnose stuff, but it's like it's more casual because
Yeah,
they're not in
yeah,
this
yeah.
time crunch at
Right,
that point.
right.
So
Yeah. All I'm saying is that it's this new availability, this new product, so that's going to increase the competition within it, and something
Yeah.
that NASCAR typically wouldn't probably provide. Comparing to the NHL playoffs.
I see your computer screen there. Do you prefer the South Sides?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
He's
just
looked up the
I was
uniforms.
looking them up earlier.
All right. So
Oh,
then,
they're bad, bro.
Hey,
Like
are-
good bad.
all right. So the next one on here that Mark kind of alluded to is the Women's College World
It's me.
Series starts this week in Oklahoma City. Are you watching? Now I will. I think this is
More SEC.
intriguing TV. for
It's just
me.
the Oklahoma invitation.
Kind of.
It's the Oklahoma
Right now,
Invitation.
yeah.
Oklahoma is the 4-time defending champs. Yep.
I'll tell you, honest to God, if you have to ask me if I'm watching the baseball or the college baseball World Series or
Softball.
softball,
I'm watching
softball.
I'm watching the softball.
Softball's
Oh yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah.
I
100%.
watch
Softball's
yeah.
crazy.
Couple crazy things. So the Oklahoma is the number 2 seed, but the number 1 seed nationwide got knocked out. I believe that was Texas A&M.
Yes.
Liberty, and then Ole Miss is actually not one of the top 16 seeds, and they're in the Women's College World Series.
wow.
Starts this Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A&M lost to Liberty, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
It's crazy.
I'm 100% watching the
Flames.
Women's College World Series versus
It's
the baseball.
so good.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
good.
it's a lot easier to watch. It's like, wow, okay.
With it being on a smaller field too, I feel like it's sped up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
naturally
like the
sped
play,
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not
yeah.
even that it's just on a smaller field. The game is just faster.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, well,
Yep.
next
It
pitch,
moves long.
let's move.
Yeah. Now it's also technically a shorter game too, but
But I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't fit like
7 innings.
sitting through a 3-hour game don't
Yeah.
feel like a 3-hour.
No,
game.
it doesn't.
Right.
No. Yep. I
Well,
agree.
and crazy, you say the field's shorter. When I watch and they hit a ground ball to third, I'm like, there's no way they're going to throw them out
Right.
at first, you
Yeah.
know, because the bases are so short.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, wait, it's out. Like,
They got
oh,
a
okay.
rocket.
Yeah.
They get out there, man. It's
So-
awesome.
Yep, that starts this Thursday. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, a couple NFL things in the last 5 minutes. Is Aaron Rodgers really going to play this next year?
No, and if he does, we should not care.
I don't.
I'm down with that. I'm a Steelers fan. I'm down with
I
that.
say, and it might be his team.
I'm an advocate for Aaron Rodgers in totality, talent on the field, production, but off the field, this is dragging on.
Mhm.
At this point,
Yeah.
I do not care.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Either you're playing this year or you aren't.
I don't
Hop
think
on that Mason Rudolph train.
No,
baby.
okay, that is where you don't. Need to be.
I
Tank
don't
for a quarterback next year.
I don't think he's going to play because if he was going to, I think he'd already made that
He would've
decision.
signed by now.
He wouldn't just keep dragging it on and
Yeah,
on and on.
And here's the thing: is if I'm Pittsburgh, right? Like he said this week he's not playing for the Saints,
Nope.
so you can rule that out.
Okay.
Not that was up
That
in
was
the
an
air.
option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the other team rumored to him? The Giants. And Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart say no. So you have one team now.
It's literally the only team.
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest, it's the best situation for you.
Out of those 3 teams, yes.
Well, honestly, in the league,
Yeah.
'cause he wasn't going back to the Jets.
No.
None of these other teams really need quarterbacks.
Sure.
And he wasn't going to Cleveland, so
I just think if you are Pittsburgh, you are in control of this
Yeah.
the situation now. Like ever since once you became the only team,
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that got to slide the paper over and be like, "Hey, sign this contract." You don't extend the offer, so be it. But look, I just think, honest to God, you just let it ride this year. Let whatever happens. Pretty deep class quarterback wise, supposedly next year.
I'm sorry, that class
You
next
wrote
year is
that.
going to be overrated.
It can't be any
saying.
worse than this year.
Yes, it can.
Ooh.
And when your leading candidate
Ooh.
is Drew Aller, that should tell you everything you need to know.
Nah. They keep saying Garrett Nussmeier, and I'm like,
But
that's
he's
bad.
if he is that high, he's probably going to New Orleans with his dad.
Good. They can take him.
They can have him.
They'll be in
But
purgatory.
after that, it's because the first when you think of 2026,
You
your
like
first
Arch?
start is Arch Manning, but we don't even know if he's leaving.
Sure.
So he could make.
Well, we also don't know what kind of player he is yet.
Oh yes, we do. He's gonna let it fly.
Eh,
That's my guy right there. Listen, I'm an Arch Manning fan. And putting him with Steve Sarkisian, you see that guy 50 yards down the field, just throw it to him and he'll go get it. So, but next year's class, it's Arch, Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik, and then us.
he said than us.
Us.
32. I could still swing him. a little bit.
There's gonna be a guy that
Yeah, you've been really quiet lately.
who me?
Yeah.
Because I've been sitting here taking this in. There's gonna be a guy that comes out of nowhere. Like I read somewhere that and I cannot remember his name now for the life of me, but the Patrick Mahomes wannabe from Wisconsin. or,
Dylan Raiola.
Yeah,
Boy.
Dylan.
Dylan.
But
Oh,
he's
he's,
on the,
at
he's on the-
Nebraska.
but he's
Boy.
he's becomes a sophomore this year.
No, I know, but like I'm just saying, like a guy like that is probably going to be the guy that like all of a sudden gets a bunch of hype.
Yeah.
I don't think he's very good. That's just
But
me.
that
He's-
was
'cause he's
Drew Aller,
not.
that was Drew Aller this year.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, he's got. I'm like, well, in these big games,
Hi, how you doing, Penn State fan here? I would agree with you on most of that. Honest to God, this is make or break.
yes. you
And
gotta-
the
you gotta- you
biggest
gotta-
the biggest thing going for him is Danny O'Brien's been there with him as quarterbacks coach. They also brought in Trace McSorley as an assistant for the staff.
Okay.
So this is make or break because now, not that there were like no excuses before, but like excuses are now all gone.
Yeah.
All the talent coming back for Penn State. A lot of teams. ESPN, I think, put them in their preseason
Top 10.
No, they're number 1.
Okay.
So you have all that talent coming back. Like it's a big year.
Mhm.
Drew Aller's got to make something happen. I would agree. Most of the time, the last couple of years, it hasn't been there when it's needed to be.
Now, if you prove me wrong, I will come up here and say I apologize. I will sit this-
If he proves you wrong,
yeah,
Penn State's well aligned to win a national
Exactly.
championship.
it was well aligned this year.
Aaron Rodgers, no.
Yeah, he's not
Again, at this point, we're approaching June. June's next week. No.
Your season starts in 2 months.
Yeah,
You gotta
no,
learn
your
a
season
whole new
already started.
You got to learn a whole new playbook. You haven't been introduced to the team.
OTAs are going on right now.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Season
you-
started.
Yeah, you're not playing. He's
No.
not playing. So
All right. And then just real on a sad note, Jim Irsay, owner of the Colts, passed away this week.
65.
Yeah, he was only 65.
Relatively unexpected.
unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had the owners meeting. It was the same day. The same day
Really?
that they ruled that they said the tush push was staying put. Those were the owners meetings.
Probably gave Jim a heart attack.
I mean, that was my first thought. I was like, that's kind of interesting because there's no way he was there.
But it must have it because what I saw was it was intense in there. So I wouldn't be shocked if stress levels were high.
Yeah.
Jeffrey
knowing.
Jeffrey Lurie got into it with some of the other
Owners, sure,
owners.
sure,
So I wouldn't be shocked if tensions were just on 10.
sure. Owner for one Super Bowl championship, 2 trips. Yes.
I lost 2 generational talents.
Yep. And Peyton Manning and
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. So, but a guy, honestly, I think a lot of people may forget that Irsay had some issues with substance abuse, let's
Yeah.
say, and found a way to clean that up.
Mhm.
And it started to permeate throughout the organization in a good way. Because, I mean, I think McAfee actually touched on it the other day where he had his own issues. He had gotten arrested with DUI. And Irsay made it a point to come talk to him all the time, be like, "Hey, are you okay? Are you doing good? Everything's going well," because you don't want to see other people get in that position. It says a lot for a guy who did say a lot throughout his tenure as owner. Sad. I mean, 65. I'll be honest with you. I thought he was older. He always kind of
I
looked
thought
older.
he was older too.
Yeah.
I was like 65.
But certainly a big loss. I mean, that's anytime one of the owners goes down, of
Oh,
course,
yeah.
that's a big deal. But Irsay was one of the bigger ones.
Well, and this is the interesting part. Is his daughter taking-
Daughters.
Daughter-
There's
well,
3.
yeah.
He has
They-
3
yes,
of them.
Yes, he
That-
has been
that-
working with them.
That
yes.
is the interesting thing there. That it's. I mean, I know it's not the first time, but I mean it's going to be owned by those sisters.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
mean
crazy.
the Ford family,
Yeah,
the Benson family as well.
Who am I
Um,
thinking? There's someone else.
The Colts.
Chicago.
One of the daughters has
Yes.
been
Yeah, yeah.
I can't
extremely
think of the name.
involved,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
like for quite a while.
Yep.
I mean, it's. I mean, listen, they talk about women in front offices and in those positions, so it'll be interesting. I think of the movie Any Given Sunday.
Well,
we can't-
they've been in that position now for how many years?
All right,
She
so-
did everybody kind of dirty.
Hey, so just real quick, they're not citing death, right? But listen to this. This says in March of 24, he had back and hip issues, revealed that he had undergone 26 surgeries in the previous
Yeah.
7 years.
Mhm. And they didn't even say what they
That's
were all
like
for.
3 a year.
Yeah, that's
Jim, I think. I don't think he had anything that was like really bad, like health issues, but I think he had a lot of little things, and that'll catch up to you eventually. And
Well,
I mean, if you look
again,
at Jim
with the
Irsay-
substance abuse too,
Yeah.
that piles on.
I was just saying, Jim
Yep.
Irsay, if you looked at him all the time, he looked like the guy that just got off the lake drinking a 24-pack of beer,
Mhm. Slick
face
back
bright
hair,
red.
yep.
I mean, that's what he looked like. And I'm not putting him down, but he just never looked like that guy that was like a beacon of
Right.
health.
Yeah. Yep.
So it is sad though. I mean, he was a good owner. He
Very much well liked within the indie community.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I go back to the whole Jonathan Taylor situation not too long ago, and that could have ended very differently, and he managed to work things out with him.
Yeah. I think it speaks volumes because a lot of the times we hear about how offhand owners are, or how they overstep their boundaries in certain ways because you got to let people do their jobs that you hire. Jerry Jones.
Yep.
Oh, I was seeing David Tepper.
No,
But
that too.
he backed off.
the
Backed off.
right, but to approach it again where you see people maybe struggling with something that you went through on a personal level, to come out and make your presence known, so that they are aware that you are there and they can always seek help and confine themselves within you. Like that's huge. So from a human being standpoint, certainly a guy that will be missed, and the NFL has got a pretty big void to fill. With his daughters even there, it's a big void to fill.
Yep. Well, hey, boys, it's been a fun hour and 5 minutes here on the Sports Recap. And I forgot to tell you all something. So this is show number 1 of year number 11 of the Sports Recap on this radio station.
How do we go
So-
through year 10 without a patch?
We will be back here next Tuesday. Hey, we'll be back here next Tuesday
Money.
at 6 o'clock. We'll go from 6 to 7 so that we can then join in with the Checkers broadcast of Game 4.
I might be at the
versus
hockey game
the
myself. and
Val Rocket.
I'll give you guys a play-by-play.
I'll let you know next week. See y'all at 6 p.m. next week here on the Sports Recap on WAME 92.9 FM and 550 AM Real Country.
Deuces.
Years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person.
Real Country is 550 AM WAME, 92.9 W225BD, Statesville.